Good afternoon and welcome to another weekly review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and today we're going to take a look at the markets from a slightly higher time frame than we normally would, just to get a sense of what the general markets are doing, and just to kind of get a high level view of the markets. Okay, but before we do, need to take a look at our risk disclosure. Just go ahead and bring that up here for a moment. Okay, so just remind everyone that the content that's being distributed and is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, as partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors, assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, because not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through our risk disclosure, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the markets here. And we're going to go ahead and start with a monthly chart of the gold market. Okay, so you can see here that we continue to be in very much in a bullish trend in this market. We're pretty coming into the last week of the month here, and there's really no sign here on the monthly chart of any sort of weakness in this market. Okay, so continue to making higher highs and higher lows, continuing to make new highs here in this market. Okay, so taking a look at the weekly chart. So weekly chart, let's go ahead and navigate our way down to that. Weekly chart also giving us again another break of sort of this consolidation pattern, another initiative move that the market has made in this market. You can see here that we have this consolidation pattern that was formed on the weekly chart. We've broken that level, and not only did we break that level, but we also broke it with significant amount of support, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest to continue to drive this market here to the upside. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. We're going to go and do a little bit of a volume analysis here. You can see, again, there's our consolidation pattern that we had on the weekly chart. You can see that price continues to progress higher. Seeing maybe a little bit of a slowdown here in the bullish trend here of late, but still very much in a bullish trend. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile for the week. Here, we'll compare Friday to Friday here and see where price is in relation to this past week here. You can see that of late, we've been in some sort of range in this market. You can see that price remains inside the range for the week. We have a price candle that closed inside that week. We did make an attempt here to make a higher high, break out of this area, but that was met with some selling, and we've kind of fallen back inside this area again on the daily chart. Okay, so currently we have a developing, or actually we had as of Friday a bullish engulfing candle to close here with a fair amount of volume here to the upside. So all indications, I would say that that we are still very much in a bullish trend. I would say maybe of late that we've been maybe a bit more range of late than maybe say some of these prior weeks. But so headed into the session, assuming that we can get above this 3,700 level, maybe as high as this 3,750 level, market's really looking to see if the market is indeed able to make a new high to really kind of continue to provide the view that the market remains in a bullish trend. The longer we stay in some sort of range, that's probably going to give a little bit of confidence here of the other side of the market, maybe to potentially drive price lower. Okay, so while momentum has to some degree kind of, I would say, slowed down a bit here on the gold market, I would say that we still remain in a rather strong move here to the upside. And more importantly, we did manage to close, you know, a bullish candle here up against this area of interest here around this 3,700 level. So headed into the market, I would say that I'm neutral, maybe say neutral to bullish in the gold market. I understand that I am at all-time highs, but as far as market sentiment continues to be remain, I would say bullish. But I am seeing some evidence that maybe the momentum to the upside is maybe waning here a bit. Okay. Moving on to the crude oil market, looking at the crude oil market again from a monthly perspective, we're going to go ahead and start with the monthly and kind of work our way down to the daily chart. So we're going to start with the monthly, and you can see here that we remain in some sort of bearish structure here to the downside in this market. We continue to make lower lows and lower highs. All the attempts that we've made here to try to maybe take the market higher has been received by more sellers, and the market continues to move to the downside. Taking a look at the weekly chart, it's kind of looking at the weekly chart, you can see that we continue to grind to the downside. I would say maybe there is a little bit of a slowdown in the momentum here to the downside, but nonetheless, we continue to make lower lows and lower highs. I would say that an area of relative importance would be this area here. This area around 60, I think, does appear to be an area of some interest, some level of interest here. We've had price come down to this level, was rejected, and we did manage to get a rally, but we weren't able to break or make a new high in this market without, once again, finding some sellers in this market. Again, market continues to show signs. The path of least resistance does indeed appear to remain to the downside. Taking a look at the daily chart, you can see that maybe on the daily chart we see that we've been maybe a little bit more in range. So while we haven't technically made any new lows, we haven't really been able to close below the 61.65 level, which is, I guess, a positive, right? For the buyers, right? They've managed to hold off sort of this momentum here to the downside, but we continue to remain in some sort of range here, right? So really, at this point, I would say that there's, you know, I would say over the last maybe couple of weeks, maybe the last month, we've been in some sort of range pattern here. Okay, you can see with this, the fact that I'm able to contain price in this box indicates that we've been in some sort of consolidation pattern, with 66 maybe being the highs and 61 being the low. Okay, so continue to make a case here for the possibility of price to continue lower. We've come to this area multiple times. Okay, so this is one attempt. We managed to secure some buyers, but buyers didn't get too far before they found some sellers. Again, we retested that same level and found some more buyers. Can't say that the buyers were not even able to take price back to its original level here at 66 before we found some more sellers. So again, all indications are that the market continues to show signs of bearish progression, okay, in this market. So headed into the week, I would say that while we are coming into maybe some areas where around the 60 level, I would expect to see maybe that we would get some buyers. I would say that there's not out of the not out of the realm of possibility here, assuming that we can get it below the 60 level, that this market could reach the 56 level without much effort. Okay. So headed into this session, or headed into the week, I remain bearish in the crude oil market. Beginning to take a look here at the equity markets. So we're going to go ahead and start with the NASDAQ. The the NASDAQ. We'll start with the monthly chart, and you can see, at least initially here on the daily, that we continue to show signs of strength here. And the monthly chart is no different. Monthly chart is continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. We are developing a rather strong bullish candle here, maybe as a result of some of the interest rates decisions that we made of late here. But nonetheless, we continue to show some strength in this market to the upside. So 25,000 does not seem out of the realm of possibility given this, given the strength that we're seeing in this market. I'm just going to do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis here on the most recent swing, just to kind of get a sense of where price can go. And you can see that that 24,956 level is coming into focus here, which kind of leads me to believe that 25,000 is not out of the realm of possibility in this market. Moving into the weekly chart, looking at the weekly chart here, you can see that again, similar to what we were seeing on the monthly chart, that the market continues to make higher highs and higher lows. We've broken above this 22,000 range. I'm going to go ahead and mark this area as maybe a area that was resistant in the past. We broke this area, really haven't technically come back and retest that level. So I would expect that this level around 22,000, 22,200 will remain somewhat supportive here in the future. Okay, what was resistance will become support. And I can see here that maybe there's also some level of support here around the 23,000 level. I can see that maybe there's a little bit of a demand zone that was created, and price attempted to head lower, but again was met with some buyers here. Okay, so 23,000, 23,400 also seems to be another level of interest in this market, again, to the bullish side. Taking a look at the daily, again, pretty much alignment, I would say, across all the various time frames here. We closed the week here with a bullish candle here, and then we just opened the week here with the beginnings of another bullish candle. Market does again appear to be strong here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile. I'm going to use this past week as kind of my range here. And you can see that with this candle, we did manage to slightly close above this area of value, indicating that there's some, again, continues to see some aggressive buying in this market. Okay. So headed into the week, in the absence of anything that would cause me to believe that the market is going to reverse here, I would say that the 25,000 level could present maybe an area where we could see some resistance to future price action to the upside. I would have to admit that we are a bit on the maybe potentially extended here to the upside. So it would not be out of the realm of possibility here if we did get maybe a little bit of a pullback, maybe back down to this area of point of control here from this past week. Okay, and that would maybe this 24,500 level could offer maybe an area where one could manage their risk and continue to participate in the market to the upside. Just going to kind of mark this area here. We're going to go ahead and extend this line, this point of control here. And so my view here is that there's certainly a reasonable chance that we could come back to this level here, this area of point of control, and that could serve as maybe a location where we could maybe see another leg higher in this market. So headed into the week, I'm not seeing anything in the way here. While I do see that maybe we are a bit extended here to the upside, I would say that the market continues to be bullish, and that we should continue to look for bullish opportunities in this market. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the S&P. We'll start off with the monthly chart. Okay, and looking at the monthly chart, you can see here that we continue to show quite a bit of strength here to the upside. We're about a week away from this candle closing, and we're not seeing much in the way of wicks on the on this end of this candle. All our wicks are coming in from the bottom end of the candles, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest in driving this market higher. Looking at the weekly chart, Okay, we can see that we broken an area of resistance here. We're just going to go ahead and mark this area of maybe some future area of support here. We've broken another area of maybe some consolidation here right around this level. This also seems to be another area of some interest here around 6,500. Seems to be kind of another area of support, areas that where we've consolidated and created another some more initiative kind of price action. And taking a look at the daily, again, you can see that we're continue to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. If I take a look at this, say, the swing here, looks like we've reached at least 100% extension. We'll just go ahead and take a look at this here. So right about here, you can see that we're about to reach maybe an area here where we could see some resistance, similar to what we were discussing with the NASDAQ. I would say that the 6,800 level could provide us maybe an area for a target for price where we could see maybe a few days of maybe a pullback in this market. Okay. And that could offer us maybe a location where we maybe could say offer an opportunity for us to participate in a continuation move here to the upside. So headed into the session, headed into the week, I would say that the market is indeed appear to be on the bullish side. I would say based on some of these Fibonacci extension levels, it would not surprise me in the least, and I think would be supportive of maybe a little bit of a pullback once it maybe reached the 6,800 level before it made a continuation move here to the upside. Okay. So similar to the NASDAQ, I would say that the ES is also giving me some indications that we are still very much in a bullish trend in this market, and that we should continue to look for areas where we can manage our risk and still participate here to the upside in this market. All right, let's take a look at the last market, and that is the actually let's take one last, I forgot, overlooked to take a look at the initial balance here, not initial balance, but the fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this past week here and see where price is in relation to the weeks. So we closed at the very upper end of value here, did not make it above this area, but we did see that we did receive some rejection away. There was an attempt maybe to take price lower here. And that was immediately received with some additional buying that's drove price the last couple of days. I think this is probably related to, again, to the interest rate decision to relax some of the rates, and that caused the market to rally here. Okay, so again, market continues to show signs of bullish price action. Looks like the week has opened as an inside candle, so we'll have to see how this day progresses and whether we remain in an inside day as Asia session approaches, and we'll have to see how that plays out. Okay, but nonetheless, I would say that the market continues to show signs of bullish price action, and that we should continue to look for areas where we could maybe look for areas where we can manage our risk and participate in an upside in a bullish trade. Okay. Now let's go ahead now and take a look at the Dow. Looking at the Dow on a monthly basis, you can see again that we continue to show signs of strength. We have a developing candle with very little in the way of wicks, much like all the other equity markets that we've seen. We did close the prior month with a candle above this area of consolidation, which I would expect to be supportive, right around this 45,000 level, maybe 45,100. Does appear to be a supportive level. We have now a close above and a developing candle that seems to be aligned with the volume that we're receiving. There's a little bit in the way of a wick here. Maybe there is some interest maybe to the sell side that's coming into this market. But nonetheless, the set of candles over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 coming into the end of the 5th month continues to show signs of bullish price action. Taking a look at the weekly chart. So weekly chart, again, you can see that we continue to make some higher highs and higher lows. We've broken above this, area of consolidation here to the upside around this 45,000, 45,600 level. and closed the week with yet another bullish candle above this area of consolidation. Probably not quite as aligned with what we would want to see as far as volume. Okay. So maybe a little bit of incongruency with price, right? We saw a fair amount of selling, but that did not translate into, price reversing. So I don't know if that means that we maybe trapped some sellers here up at the highs, because right now price does not seem to be aligned with the volume of trades, the bearish trades that we're seeing here in the volume delta bar. Okay, looks like the week has opened up. We'll take a look at the daily. Again, looking at the daily, we can see that we've broken again some areas here to the upside. Again, I would expect that this area right around this 45,000, let's call it 800 level, I would expect that area would be supportive. We have some evidence here where it was indeed supportive. We had a pullback to that area, and price reacted and continued to the upside. Looking at these volume bars, again, I wasn't really maybe didn't make a note of these candles here on these volume bars in the past with some of the other equity markets, but you can see that maybe there's an increase in interest here, maybe of some participants coming into the short side. They haven't really been able to drive price in the direction of these volume delta bars, but nonetheless, it seems to have increased in activity here, right? So we have about I don't know, 8,000 or so market orders here to the bearish side, but that has not really translated in any sort of reversal in price. Okay. So taking a look here, just maybe at some of these swings here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Fibonacci extension levels here, kind of use this and see kind of targeting. So we have kind of reached this 46,770 level, which is the 100% extension of this swing here. Okay, so that could be an area where we could see maybe a little bit of a pullback. We're starting to see again some volume that maybe indicate that there is an interest here, maybe to pull the market lower here to some degree. But the market, I would say, continues to show signs of bullish behavior here. Okay, so again, similar to the other equity markets, I would have to say that we need to continue to look for opportunities, okay, where we can manage our risk and look for opportunities here to the bullish side. I would say that maybe this 46,120 level could offer us maybe a location where we can maybe look for opportunity for maybe a bullish trade in this market. Should we start to break below maybe some of this structure here below 46,000 and maybe work our way below 45,000, then maybe this market is maybe showing some signs of weakness, and that would probably align a little bit with what we're seeing as far as these volume delta bars here in below. So let's take a look across all the markets here on the daily chart, and just kind of making one kind of final look here. So you can see, looks like we have a developing candle here to the bullish side in the gold market. So look, we've created a little bit of a gap open here on the daily, indicating that maybe there is a fair amount of interest to maybe participate in this market to the bullish side. I would say that could contribute to maybe another impulsive move here in this market to the upside. So I would say that assuming that this candle does indeed remain above, we won't know exactly how this day for a period of time, but the fact that we opened up with a gap is indicating that there is still a fair amount of interest here to the upside. Looking as kind of in summary for the crude oil market, again, you can see that we remain in range. We're at the bottom end of the range in some sort of consolidation pattern. The question now becomes after the maybe potential fourth attempt at retesting, say the 61, 62 level, is that going to generate some interest maybe for price to break to the downside, or are we going to continue to remain in this consolidation pattern for the week? So for right now, I would say that I would say I'm neutral to maybe bearish in this market. I don't see anything that would indicate to me that we've kind of broken any sort of necessarily any structure here to the upside. I think the best that the bulls have been able to do is kind of slow down the momentum of this downside move in the crude oil market. Okay. Certainly, this would be an area where I would expect to see maybe some buyers, but I am seeing some evidence of maybe some liquidity being lost here. We had a relatively good move here in this swing here. Again, was met with sellers. Buyers came back again, but were not able to take the market back above the 65, 67, or 66 level again before sellers stepped in. So again, I would say that headed into the week, I remain neutral to bearish in the crude oil market. Taking a look at the equities, we're going to maybe pay a little bit more attention here to these volume delta bars. We're not seeing much in the way of maybe sustained volume here to the upside. We're probably seeing maybe the beginnings of some indications that maybe some sellers are maybe potentially beginning to step into this market here up at the highs. And that, to be honest with you, would be somewhat welcomed for this bullish swing. In any kind of market, you do expect to see kind of a staircase kind of price action, and really to be, I would say, relatively unhealthy if the market is just in one direction. Okay, so starting to see some signs of maybe we could receive maybe a little bit of a pullback over the next set of days here. And I think the fact that contributing that we have a gap up open in the gold, that's kind of contributing to my view here to some degree. Nonetheless, I would say that we remain in a bullish structure. And again, I think we need to look for opportunities, okay, where we can maybe, manage our risk and still participate in some sort of upside move. But I would say that over maybe the next few days, that we could see maybe a little bit of a pullback in this market. Okay, let's go ahead and take one last peek at the ES and the Dow. Again, the ES and right now, kind of similar kind of look and feel that we're getting in the NASDAQ. We are still inside value from this past week, indicating that we could be in store for maybe a little bit of range price action headed into the week. Not seeing any sort of aggressive buying or selling at the moment here on this daily candle that we just opened here in the last 10-15 minutes. So again, I would say bullish to neutral in the S&P. And then finally, looking at the Dow, again, I would say that probably was kind of showing the most weakness here as far as activity to the sell side. We have an inside bar that's developing as the open of the day here. So we'll have to see whether this is going to translate into some sort of price action that would lead us to maybe a little bit of a downside, maybe a little bit of a retracement here. I'm going to be using kind of parallel channel here to kind of evaluate the progression here. And if we do break, say, below this channel, that maybe could offer us maybe an opportunity to retest maybe 46,000 in this market. But nonetheless, similar to the other equity markets, still is showing signs of bullish behavior. I think the only thing that I'm making note of here that's maybe a little bit different than what we're seeing in the other equity markets is the fact that we have some volume bars that we're getting more sell market orders here at the moment than buy market orders, which leads me to believe that maybe at some point we'll see maybe a little bit of a move here in the Dow to the downside. So of the three equity markets, it does appear that maybe the Dow is showing the greatest amount of weakness from a volume delta perspective, but that still has not translated to the types of candles that we're seeing. Okay, so if I am going to entertain some sort of short trade, well, I need to see some sort of some sort of 3-bar reversal pattern or something along those lines in order to really participate in maybe a downside move. And for now, I would say that a move back down to the bottom end of the channel is probably what I would expect to see. That would be about a 300-point move, in the Dow here. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for you guys as far as the markets go. I do see that the gold is showing some signs of some strength here with the gap open. I would say that the crude oil continues to remain in range, maybe neutral to bearish. And then across the equity markets, I'm also kind of, I would say, maybe bullish to potentially neutral on those markets, probably a little bit more neutral in the Dow than maybe say either the Nasdaq or the ES. Okay, so with that said, we'll go ahead and close off this session as we close most sessions, and as we begin a new week. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.